Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work.
Fall in.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what it is. E2G Sports Network's first formation is brought to you today. Sports Morning Talk, Morning Sports Talk. I'm sorry, a little discombobulated just a bit. But we're back. You're home. Been away for a little second. Glad to be back. So, of course, we're glad to bring you a couple of some of the sports events that I'm very sure some of y'all have tapped into. But it ain't nothing like falling in and talking to it and engaging with it with your favorite vets on the net. Myself, my man Bishop, Ron, and when he gets on, sometimes CC's the commissioner, Coach Uriah. It's a bunch. It's a whole conglomerate of individuals that team seem to tap in and talk about it. So, of course, is more to talk about. Shout out to the World Cup champions, Argentina, Messi, making it happen. Uh, Shout out to all the teams that's been winning, getting their doing great, big and great things in these bowl games. We'll probably tap into that a little bit, run down and give the winner so far who we got slated. NBA, at old moniker NBA action is fantastic. You got plenty of teams that are engaged, still doing their thing as we get closer and closer to the holiday season. You know, the famed Christmas games or basketball games. The NFL is getting closer. 3 weeks remaining in the NFL. So it's a whole lot going on, and we're trying to get caught up on it, of course, as I continue to get set up for the morning, so we can get into a whole vibe this morning. I hope y'all doing great, enjoying your weekend. I know some of y'all probably traveling, getting to friends and families, or just whatever you got going on for this holidays, close to the end of the season, less than 10, what's today, the 21st, 10 days away from a whole new year. What do you have planned for your year? What is it that you are looking forward to engaging in? Any changes? New year, new me? What's going on? Pardon me, bear with me so we can get right into it. Mm-hmm. See, is it here? Bum, 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 bum. Let me see where I want to start at. Let's rock. Let's rock with this. Of course, you know the bowl season started off. It actually started off December 16th, in which a couple of teams have been engaging in and getting it in. Of course, that first first game bowls of the season. First started off with the hometown Lenders Bahamas Bowl. That's held in Thomas Robinson's National Stadium in Nassau, Bahamas. I guess if you wasn't invited to the New Year's Six Bowl, that is one of the bowls in which you probably want to get into. That one was played at UAB, that's the University of Alabama, Birmingham, faced off against Miami, Ohio, which UAB got the win 24-20. The Duluth Trading Cure Bowl had pitted Troy, University of Troy and University of Texas San Antonio together. As you know, UTSA was the hot team, one of the hot teams last year, undefeated season, close to an undefeated season. I think they dropped the last few games, and I think they dropped the bowl game. They played in Orlando on the 16th of December. Troy victorious, winning 18-12. Of course, that Saturday the 17th, it was just a week ago. Um, you had the Cincinnati. What's good, Eric? How you going, fam? What's going on with you, brother? Glad to have your information. Good to see you, sis. What's going on, Kani? Uh, Glad to have you this morning as well. Hope y'all's weekend is going good. Hope y'all got a lot planned for this weekend. Glad to have y'all information this morning. How y'all doing? Of course, like I was saying, going back into that those Saturday bowls. First up, Cincinnati and Louisville played in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Of course, Louisville victorious 24-7 over Cincinnati. Of course, everyone knows the Cricket Celebration Bowl pitted North Carolina Central versus Jackson State. That game went down to an overtime win in which North Carolina Central pulled away and got the W 41-34 over Jackson State. We all know Deion Sanders left Jackson State himself. His son are going and proceeding on to bigger and better things in Colorado. Of course, a couple of other players, Shiloh as well, Shiloh Sanders as well, looking in the transfer portal. Travis Hunter in the transfer portal. We'll see when they ended up. Of course, all things point to them being, for the most part, in Colorado with Coach Prime. Of course, we look on to see how that goes. Other games that happened on that Saturday, this past Saturday, the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl put it Oregon State against Florida. Florida has a bunch of players that didn't play. Some, of course, that entered the transfer portal. Oregon was victorious, getting the Pac-12 W, winning 30-3. The Allegiant Stadium Bowl was not as welcoming for the Pac-12 as they tapped Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl presented by Stifle in Inglewood, California, SoFi Stadium. Fresno State victorious 29-6 over the Washington State Cougars. It happens that way, of course. That put the Pac-12, I got to keep what the Pac-12 doing. That puts the Pac-12 at 1-1 in their bowl season. Additionally, on Saturday, Lending Tree Bowl, Southern Miss. Shout out to Southern Miss getting the 38-24 win over Rice. New Mexico Bowl had BYU face off against SMU. SMU falls by 1 point, losing 24-23 to the Cougars. The Frisco Bowl, Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Boise State not dominated. Boise State gets the win, winning 35-32 over North Texas. Monday, just a couple of days ago, the Myrtle Beach Bowl as Marshall faced off against Utah. Marshall gets the W 28-14. A couple of games more to 20th just yesterday. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl put it Eastern Michigan against San Jose State. Eastern Michigan walks away with the W, winning 41-27. The roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. These names, fam, I tell you. Of course, that game, Toledo faced off against Liberty. Toledo victorious, 21-19. Liberty falls. And next up, of course, tonight we have the RL Carriers New Orleans Bowl in Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. We'll have Western Kentucky facing off against South Alabama. Who tends to get the W there? It remains to be seen. So, yeah, not too much, fireworks unless it's your team that is playing for the most part. We have more, of course, plenty bowl games to come. We're just in the first week of the bowl season opening up. So, of course, it remains to be seen how all that's going to go. It's been popping up players in the transfer portal doing their thing, trying to see where they're going. Or who they're going to be with. Of course, we have a couple of ideals. Of course, you have stuff like North Carolina State's quarterback basically transferred, crazy enough, goes from NC State to Kentucky as Devin Leary, who was one of the top touted quarterbacks or players in the transfer portal. He finds his way over to North Carolina State. correction, he finds his way leaving North Carolina State, transferring to Kentucky. Um, because the current starter, who is Will Levis, has already declared to go into the portal. I mean, declared to go to the NFL. So he leaves um, Kentucky, and North Carolina State loses a quarterback as Devin Leary goes ahead and looks to transfer, going to Kentucky as opposed to staying in North Carolina. So you know, what I'm saying that's usually a domino effect when you take a look at that type of stuff, and then it continues to go from there. Anyone else? Let me see. Tops. Um, uh, of course, is official. Arch Manning, nephew to Peyton and Eli Manning, has made it official as he signs officially. What's good, Frat? What's going on, Marcus? Glad to have your information this morning, brother. Glad to be with us. Hope everything's going on for you in your holidays. Um, so Arch Manning makes it official. He officially signs with Texas, um, going to UT. So we'll see how that fares. Interesting enough, he goes. His uncles were SEC players, being in Tennessee and Ole Miss, but he elects to go the Big 12 route. Signed with Texas. So while we're here, right, we tend to do things from a military standpoint. Of course, all being veterans, active duty, or however it is. One thing that has always gone, that has been unfortunate for, let's say, service members, right? We already know that the armed forces has academies for more for so to speak. Navy, Air Force, Army. Um, those are the three, and they play football. And some of these individuals who play football tend to be very good, actually touted. Potentially those that can be drafted. You tend to always have one in the fold once they come down to their uh once they come down to the end of their tenure at these organizations. And just like clockwork, we usually have ones. Of course, you have some that's been from the Navy. The last couple ones I think the last one was probably the Navy. Um, Now we have one particular, the Army linebacker. Andre Carter II is potentially looking at a bill that will potentially nix him having an opportunity to be drafted. Uh, if the bill is passed, basically, um, it passed the Senate last week. It basically revoked Carter having the opportunity to be drafted in the league. Unfortunately, for all his for him and what he does best. So what happened basically was there was a new language that was formally filed to give Carter the opportunity, or any other academy upperclassmen in the Army, Navy, Air Force, to defer their service to pursue a professional career in the NFL. Of course, you know, with that comes some of those things coming in. If they do that, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, or anyone's watching if I'm wrong, if given that opportunity, they also get the opportunity to defer. They become recruiters. They tend to do more of a reserve type thing and all that type of stuff during their while they're serving. I mean, while they're playing. Uh, there's basically a provision was included in which omnibus appropriation was measure expected to pass. That was last week, of course, earlier this week. I'm sorry. Um, to make any cover underclassmen eligible for a waiver that would allow for a legacy exception for a ruling that was allowed deferred service play for pro sports. This provision appeared in the Senate appropriation website Tuesday. The bill was passed, and now the Senate can revoke the rule. So we have a situation to where potentially What happens is a bill potentially connects the opportunity for Carter, who is a standout, pretty good. Mel Kiper has him on his big board, expected to be a 22nd pick. Check that, a 22nd pick. We're not just talking about, saying, oh, he was a service member, he played at Army, and uh he's going to be picked second round, 22nd pick, first round, 22nd pick. That's enormous. You're right. Would you, if you were a service member, right? Correction, academy, going to the academy, and you look and you seem like you have an opportunity, do you decide, you know what, I'm transferring, I'm leaving, I'm not going to, well, there's commitments. Or is ROTC? It depends. But what would that look like for you? If you, as a service member in a service academy, had an opportunity, you were just that good, or you showed the skill levels to be potentially a armed service member, an armed forces pro athlete, and you can have it taken away from you, what would your mindset be? What would you do? How would you feel? Would you even ask your children or have your children, your offspring, or anyone of your loved ones, family members, if they said they were going to the academy and you know they had some type of skill, are you allowing them to even make that decision? I just would wonder that. I don't think I am. Unless, especially if you know they have some skill. Like, nah, don't, that's not the move, player. As much as I sit up and back, saying individuals signing up, but in that particular instance, that's not the move. I guess it's one of those situations you're all in or you're not. But you never know what can happen. Things tend to happen and make different moves. They have situations where people do their research and they're able to get things overturned. But I'm very sure this is, when it comes to a nation, this is something that they're not going to continue to play with over and over again. But yet we continue to see it over and over again. I'll have to do a little more research into it. But yeah, that's what we currently have Andre Carter III enthralled in the situation to where he may not be able to pursue what is on the cusp of him being a player in the NFL, at least a player drafted. Like, let's not get it twisted. Players get drafted. 200 plus players get drafted every year. All of them don't make it to the league, don't make it into a lineup. They get cut or removed, dropped from rosters and bounced around, and then end up not playing. End up in the USFL, end up in the XFL, end up in one of these lower tier or leagues with the opportunity trying to make their way back. So it's a few in between, but it's possible. But yeah, so we'll see. More to come in that situation, of course. Yeah, it's unfortunate. More to come definitely in that situation. Let's get into some NBA talk, right? If you haven't heard yet, at the beginning of the year, we talked about briefly. At the beginning of the NBA season, we talked about briefly, in which we assumed, we came up with the thought that most likely the Phoenix Suns were going to be up for sale at some point, in which that has came to fruition, of course, as Matt Ishbia, has agreed to purchase the Suns for what now is a record $4 billion. So this is an NBA franchise that is being purchased for a record $4 billion. Of course, Matt is a billionaire already. He's going to purchase the majority of the stock for the Phoenix Suns as well as the Phoenix Mercury, making him the majority owner of both organizations. Of course, he's a well-known mortgage lender. He's well known in the NBA and different across the board NBA franchises. Matt is also additionally crazy enough. He is a NCAA basketball champion as he went to school at Michigan State, in which he played for Tom Izzo. So he has, I guess you could say he has a little backing in that. Uh, but he's been looking to purchase or get into the sports franchise owner, uh, I guess you say fraternity or organizations for a while, be a part of that those group, and now he puts himself in it. $4 billion. Look at over time how we have seen organizations grow from the standpoint of we was just talking about the high millions not too long ago, and here we are. A couple of teams have been purchased in the $1 billion range, I guess you could say, with inflation. When you look at the different media aspects and marketing tools and media and everything like that, is driving these prices up for these teams. But 4 billion dollars for this franchise. I would say, are the Phoenix Suns worth $4 billion? Obviously, they are. They just sold for it. Um, what are you as an individual willing to spend if you had money to blow? Shout out Lil Wayne. If you had money to blow, what are you willing to spend for a franchise? Whether it's your favorite franchise, a franchise that you're up, like let's not the other franchises up for grabs right now. The Washington Commanders, presumably. Are you willing to spend that type of money to be an owner? If you had that type of money, you think about it so Joe Tsai bought the Boston. Bought the Brooklyn Nets for 2.3 million. 2.3 billion. Just 3 years ago, the Houston Rockets were bought for 2.2 billion by Tillman Fertitta just 4 years ago. 5 years ago. And then, of course, in 2014, just over 8 years, a little over 8 years ago, Steve Ballmer purchased the Los Angeles Clippers for $2 billion. So here we are, just 8 years, a difference of 8 years, and additional, the inflation has pushed it to $2 billion on top of what Ballmer paid in 2014. 2014, an NBA team franchise. We talk about the Clippers now. I mean, I understand they're in LA. They were $2 billion. Brooklyn just sold 3 years ago for 2.4 billion. 2.3 well, 2.3 billion. Here we are 3 years later, the Phoenix Suns sell, well, I guess you're getting two franchises technically. The Suns and the Mercury sell for $4 billion. Roughly a $2 billion a piece franchise. It's crazy, man. Crazy. I see Eric says no. You're not paying. Where are you willing to pay for a franchise, Eric? Where if you had the money to do like that, what are you willing to pay for a franchise? Especially when you have 2 billion, 4 billion NBA franchise going for 4 billion. What are you willing to put up? And you got to think at some point you're going to be bidding anyway. So I guess you could say if you were the only bid, you put in the only bid, and there's no other takers. What are you willing to put up? If the going rate right now is 4 billion, I think what's going to happen is, of course, it's crazy because it's just like players getting contracts, resetting the market. Players resetting the market. These franchises are resetting the market as well. A partner, well, in state, Anthony, that's what it is. A partner, honestly, that's what you're going to come into anyway. Because I don't think it's anyone that's purchasing outright. They're just purchasing to be better than the next man. No one's purchasing outright. And then what comes up additionally is I wonder if there's any clauses in these situations. Oh well, you're not purchasing a franchise because I don't think there's any major league franchise of the major sports that's not $1 billion. Maybe only MLS. That's about it. I think anyone else is out of there. But I wonder, like, are there clauses in places to where if they lose out, are they not able to minority owners, are they able to sell their stock? I mean, are they able to leave? Because if someone has to purchase that, for the most part, I wonder, are there things in place to where you can't be the I mean, you're the majority owner, but how much of the majority? So if I got money like that, and I start having people that are trying to jump ship, am I purchasing their shares so I can have even more control? Like, they already have control. So I wonder, like, what is that? I'm probably gonna have to take a look at that. I'm interested in that aspect now to figure out, like, what could potentially, what's your ramifications, what's your left and right parameters for the most part if you become a majority owner, in which now Matt is. Like, what is it that happens after that, or how far can I get? I want to get deep into it. Like, I've learned from and what I've been taught and have conversations, like, you don't want to ever put yourself in a position to where you are lacking in a sense when you're the majority owner. Like, we see movies and stuff like that to where people are looking to gain. Uh, Sometimes you have people that link up and they look to get on when you get voted out of certain things, because yes, you're the majority owner, but you can be outvoted in certain aspects. So when you try to make moves and people don't like your moves that you're making, you have if someone's able to build a case against you, and that you're incompetent or you're not moving in the best outcome of with the organization, they start trying to get rid of you or trying to vote you out so that way someone else can take over, and those shares makes a difference. Empire, like you said, the show Empire. There's a show also. It just came out on Prime not too long ago. I think it's called Riches or something like that. Like, people, it's crazy how the things go. It'd be your stuff. It'd be your own, and it'd be your own family and people that is up in when it comes down to building stuff and making things happen. They'll get you. So I, for one, would like to be a majority owner, but have the majority of the stake in the shares in stake. But with the good comes the bad, and you got to be able to move accordingly. So, but yeah, so crazy. But of course, like I said, $4 billion for the franchise. I wonder what's going to pop off with the Washington Commanders. If they are potentially up for sale, are they going to? Is the same thing going to be? Is that going to be the same case? Like, what potentially can be of that? I guess the plot thickens. $4 billion for the Phoenix Suns, and that's just for. It's not the whole team. That's just purchasing the majority shares. $4 billion. Mm. Other people that were basically looking to purchase shares, or correction, to purchase the shares, they only bid $3 billion. So this man came in and bid $1 billion more. This is like, let's hear this. Like, these aren't small potato type things. Two people put in a bid for $3 billion and were outbid because he wanted a franchise where he put up $4 billion. Outbidded the next man by a full $1 billion. Crazy, man. Money to blow. Let me see. Going on, of course. Congratulations to Matt. To Matt getting the franchise. He's been chasing the franchise for a while. He finally gets it. Master Ishbia. So the other night, right, Monday night, like I said, we've been going a little bit. Let's take a trip back to Monday night. Dame Lillard became the Portland Trailblazers all-time leader in scoring, surpassing Kyle Drexler. Let me get it right. Hall of Fame guard Kyle Drexler, surpassing him at his 18,040 point for the franchise, Portland Trailblazers franchise. With that, Dame Dash becomes the 10th player in the NBA that is currently active. That is the his team's franchise leader in scoring points. He became the 10th. He becomes the third all time. You know, it's always stats. It's crazy stats. He becomes the third all time. He becomes the third player to become an all time leading franchise scorer for the same team in which he started. So currently, there's only 3 players that play for the same franchise in which they start. They're the leading scorer for, and those 3 players, of course, are Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So if you look at it even further, going back to the 10 players that are franchise leaders for the organization, those 10 players are Giannis, of course, the aforementioned Giannis Antetokounmpo, Stephen Curry, Dame Lillard. Now, Russell Westbrook is the leading all-time leading scorer for the Oklahoma City Thunder. DeMar DeRozan is the all-time leading scorer for the Toronto Raptors. Mike Conley Jr. is the all-time leading scorer for the Memphis Grizzlies. Brook Lopez, crazy enough, is the all-time leading scorer for the New York Nets, then Nets, now the Brooklyn Nets. Anthony Davis is the all-time leading scorer for the New Orleans Pelicans. Who else was it? 2 more or 1 more? Kemba Walker, all-time leading scorer for the Charlotte Hornets, and lastly, LeBron James is the all-time leading scorer for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I don't know if there's anyone currently on any of those that break those those all-time leading scorers. Of course, it remains to be seen. We'll see. But Dame Dash getting that aspect of it done. Additionally, I asked this question though: does that make Dame? And I thought I had a good fight, but I realized I didn't. But I'm gonna ask the question anyway: does that make Dame a potential Hall of Famer? Does being a all-time stat leader of an organization, does that put you in line to be a Hall of Famer potentially? Like you're leading the franchise in points, but I mean that maybe not, because you could be a new franchise and be the point leader because it's new. So at first I was thinking like, well, Kyle Drexler, but of course Kyle Drexler has NBA championships. He has he has a couple of championships. That's he's a Hall of Famer. He was 18,000. He was a leading scorer for the Trailblazers from the year 83 to 95. So that's a little bit different when you look at it in state. So I understand that. I get that. Shout out to Dame. Dame to see how much further you can go, brother. I know for many years I wanted you to be don the purple and gold. Not so much now, honestly. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if he came over, but not so much, honestly. I think you're going to end up actually finishing with your organization, the Portland Trailblazers. Continue on. Uh, let's get into some of these scores last night. It's been a little bit. 5 games slated from just this week, from yesterday. The aforementioned Phoenix Suns now being sold. Faced off against the Washington Wizards, in which the Suns fell 3-point deficit, 19 and 13 on their year. With the Washington Wizards win, they go to 12 and 20 on their year. The Wizards, led by Kyle Kuzma's 29.6 rebounds, 6 assists. Bradley Beal contributed with 27.6 rebounds, 6 assists. We all hear the grumblings and the talks in reference to potentially Kyle Kuzma maybe going back to the Lakers. Of course, that continues to be an ongoing thing. Would you want to go back to that team, Kyle? Do you really? Is it even effective? Does LA even want him? Technically, Kyle was there. They won their last championship. Denny contribute 16 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist. 12 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist from Daniel Gafford. Monte Morris with 9 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Taj Gibson, 6 points. Corey Kispert, 6 points. And Will Barton, 6 points, all to boot. The Suns, 30 points from DeAndre Ayton, 13 rebounds to go along with that. 31 points from Landry Shamet, 2 rebounds, 5 assists as well. 10 points, 2 rounds, 3 assists from Dwayne Washington. 10 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds from Kyle Bridges. 6 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists from Torrey Craig. Damian Lee contributed 2 points, 2 rebounds. Chris Paul, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists. Bizak Nyambo, 7 points, 5 rebounds. Wainwright, 2 points. As like I said, they fall again, just barely though, but they did fall. Of course, it looked like they're not that potent. Booker did not play last night. So it continues to be the Wolves 19-13. Once the top team in the NBA, of course, in the West, now I think they're the third or fourth best team. Yeah. But it's a long season. It's still got plenty of time, plenty of games to be played. Only at this point, 30 games in of a 82 game season. So you have more to look at. Anthony, I see what you're talking about. The Warriors are looking bad. Steph, when you lose 30 points, where do you get that production from? 30 points. 10 points from, even if you was to divvy those 30 points up between 10 additional players, that's a top task because that means those players, depending on what they're getting, if you're only getting 5 points a game already, to ask of you to get 15 points might be a tough task. I know if that's what you ask of me, every time I'm touching the ball, I'm going up. It's like I'm going to get my 15-point quota, and I'm not going to stop till I get it. And if they continue to let me cook, then I'll continue to go if it's effective. But where do they get their 34 points from? Like without Steph, 30 points is what they got to pull. And it's just one of those things. But like I said, last night the Warriors faced off against the New York Knicks. They played hosts and a shellacking 38-point drubbing by the Knicks, doing damage when the damage is already done with the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors top player Jordan Poole, 26 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Jonathan Kuminga, 11 points, 3 assists from Jerome, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist from Moses Moody, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists from Klay Thompson as he also went down with an injury in the game. James Wiseman, 4 points, 3 rebounds. Anthony Lamb, 6 points, 3 points from Patrick Baldwin. Draymond Green, 7 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Kevin Looney, 2.6 rebounds, 4 assists. Like, where are they going to get these points from? In state, when you look at it. Draymond is still doing what Draymond does. We don't see 17, 18, 20 points there. Easy. This is his stat line regularly. 7 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Predominantly, that's just him. So he's around where he's at. Claypool is going off getting what he gets. Klay Thompson needs to step up, but like you said, he went down, so we don't know what he could have been. James Wiseman needs to step up and do more. Another 15 points would help him. Same thing for Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga. Like, got to step up, got to do more. Got to be got to assist in some way, form, or fashion. Of course, Wiggins is still out, so I'm very sure they lost point. There's points missed there, so it's just a bad situation for him right now. For the Knicks, led by 22 points, Emmanuel quickly, 4 rebounds and 2 assists, of course. 21 points from Jalen Brunson, 3 rebounds, 5 assists to go along with that. RJ Barrett, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists on the night. 15 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists as Julius Randle contributes a double-double. Mitchell Robinson, 9 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist. Quentin Grimes, 19 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. Then, of course, 8 points from Sims. And Arcidano Ryan, 3 points contribution in his 3 minutes of play. Or what's that, Anthony? If they don't make the playoffs, Warriors are cleaning the house next year. I don't think they're cleaning the house. I mean, we already see they haven't re-signed Draymond. I think they just take a more in-depth look at who they can get. Like, they still got pretty good draft picks for a team that would be potentially 1 year removed from the NBA championship. It's just going to be a look at who they're going to be after. They might let some people go in free agency. They might trade some people away in order to pull some people in free agency. It comes down to, does a player think they're better suited playing with joining the Golden State Warriors? Are players looking at like, okay, I join the Warriors if they have a core, i.e. Steph, Draymond, now Wiggins, or are they looking at, I join the Warriors to run with Steph? Like, what player outside of someone like Durant or someone like that comes to Golden State and is able to play and run and add to their win totals, or the winning culture, I guess you could say. If Klay Thompson and Draymond Green are no longer there, is the Warriors still a destination place with Steph Curry just there and Wiggins and adding a player? Like, is there someone that comes in that can build that core? Like, what type of player like that is doing that? I think that's the question that remains to be seen. Are they still would they be a destination organization if Klay Thompson is gone? Who are you trading out for Klay Thompson? Are they still a destination organization if Klay Thompson's there, but he's seen as a talent that's diminishing? Steph Curry is there, but he's getting older, and then you have and Draymond is gone, and you just have, like, that starts to become the thought, like, who's going there after that? And it remains to be seen. Steph Curry can't play forever. At this point, he's in his prime, or maybe even falling off from his prime. It's like, so at this point, what can be that outcome? How much does Steph Curry have left in his tank at this point? I don't think he's that type of bait anymore. I think he's starting to hit that Kobe effect, to where those good years, and now you start to become a shell of who you were. Not saying that he is that case, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, when is that happening? I think it's coming sooner than later for Steph Curry. If you got Curry, people want to come. LeBron wanted to play with him. I just don't think he's going to continue to be that type of talent to draw people in. He might become a talent to go somewhere else. Like, he's a shooter. Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to, like, really diminish. He's going to, at some point, I think he's going to basically do the Ray Allen thing, to where he might not. Well, he's probably not. He's probably going to always be a franchise player. But business is business. At the point at which Golden State feels like, okay, we can't do this anymore. We can't do this anymore with Steph. And go ahead and find someone to move him that's willing to bring him in and be serviceable, then it becomes a different story. But we'll see, of course. Other games out there, like I said, it was a slate of 5. We already talked about 2. Where we at now? Let's hit Utah. Utah gets the W over Detroit, 126-111. Utah now 18-16 on the year after their high start. Detroit Pistons 8-25 on their year. The Pistons in the losing effort, Jaden Ivey, 30 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. 15 points apiece from Bonjan Bogdanovic and Jalen Duran. Duran, 14 rebounds to go along. Bogdanovic, 3 rebounds, 3 assists in his efforts. 10 points apiece from Marvin Bagley III and Alec Burke. 4 rebounds from Bagley, 1 from Burke. Killian Hayes, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist from Isaiah Stewart. Corey Joseph, 2 assists and 1 rebound. Kevin Knox, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Sadiq Bey contributed lastly with 7 rebounds, 5 points. 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist to go along. The Jazz, led by Laurie McKinnon, 38 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. 18 points from Jared Vanderbilt. 17 points from Malik Beasley. 21 points from Jordan Clarkson, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, as we discussed just a couple of days ago, or last week, that Utah is full of dogs, basically. Just players that's just looking to play. There's no clear-cut player on the team. It's just full of players that go get it. Rudy Gay, 8 points, 4 rebounds for the veteran. Mike Conley Jr., 7 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists. Walker Kessler, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist. Tyler Horton Tucker, one rebound. Michael Potter, 1 rebound. As they really didn't get any burn. They cleared the pinch, but they didn't get too much burn, playing 3 minutes apiece. Utah, like I said again, 18 and 16 in the Wild West. It continues to go on. Not too much difference in their scoring, but I mean that's basically where they're at right now. 2 more games, of course. Chicago. Now, just on Sunday, right? Chicago got smacked 150 to 26 by the Minnesota Timberwolves, in which at halftime of that game, the players started beefing, confronting one another, talking about, saying who's effective, who's real, who's fake, who's not effective, or whatever case like that. A whole in the mix of a 3-game slid. They lose that game, of course, like I said, comes to today, yesterday, last night, in which they were in at that point, a 4-game skid and looking down on one another. I guess that game, that little conversation or whatever the conversation they had after that was more productive because it actually led to them getting a win. Chicago gets the W, 113-103 over a shorthanded Miami Heat team. With the loss, Miami falls to a 500 team at 16 and 16. Chicago, 6 games under 500, currently 12 and 18. The Heat was led by Bam Adebayo's 27 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 18 points from Haywood Highsmith, 2 rebounds and 2 assists in contribution, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists from Tyler Hero, Dwayne Dedmon, 3 points, 4 rebounds, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists from Duncan Robinson, Victor Oladipo, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, Max Strus, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 points from Kane. And that's, like I said, shorthanded. That's where it ended up. Of course, they were without Jimmy Butler. For the Bulls, Nikola Vucevic, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 24 points from DeMar DeRozan, 5 rebounds, 5 assists to go along with that. Zach LaVine contributed with 21 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 14 points from Kobe White, 8 points from Goran Dragic, Patrick Williams, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 7 points from Alex Caruso, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 points from Derrick Jones, 2 rebounds, 2 assists to go along with that as well. And the Bulls were able to string together a win. Where do they go from here? Breaking their streak. They broke the streak for the Heat, who were basically on a 4-game winning streak. Now the Bulls have an opportunity to string along a streak for themselves. But just from a standpoint, who would you be willing to trade more? Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan? I, for the most part, have been on this kick to where it's not necessarily what I keep on the organization. is what I could bring in for the future. So, like when we having conversations, whenever I bring up the fact of LA, and yes, it probably would be more advantageous to keep Anthony Davis on the squad, but that's a win now mentality, in my opinion. If I trade Anthony Davis, I'm sure I could get back more bang for my buck in trading Davis as opposed to trading Westbrook. So I look at it, saying more based towards the future. So, in my opinion, that's what you do with DeMar DeRozan. I think DeMar DeRozan is more of the upside than Zach LaVine. I see Anthony Price say he'd trade Zach. I myself would rather trade DeMar DeRozan. I think DeMar has more upside. Although, saying people may frown upon DeMar because in certain things it's been documented or stated that he said he tends to suffer from mental illness sometimes. That might be something which a team doesn't want to take on. Zach, we know, microwave scorer. But when you look at the two, is Zach a potential Hall of Famer? Does he have those type of qualities? DeMar DeRozan does, in my opinion. So it's like, which one do you go with? Do you trade? I guess it also depends upon who the team is that you're potentially looking to trade to as well. But I think in any case, in state is DeMar DeRozan pulls in more of more meal tickets in than Zach LaVine does. And I'm not saying I like Zach's game. I truly do. I wish he would have come to LA a long time ago. But of course, he didn't. He's on the East, and now, of course, there's been conversations in reference to it. But at this point, I would rather leave Zach where he is. And if I were a GM with the two, I would move DeMar with the idea of bringing in someone that's going to complement Zach. And that's going to potentially take us to the future. That's our future. So, yeah. Chicago gets the W. And then, of course, the last game, the Denver Nuggets and Memphis Grizzlies. The game, of course, the W for the Nuggets puts them with the same record, both 19-11 at this time. But Jokic, the Joker, basically is like, don't play with me. Y'all trying to write me off. I'm the 2-time NBA MVP, and y'all trying to write me off. The Joker doing damage. Just on Sunday, he dropped what was a rare 40-10, 40, 20, and 10 triple-double, mirroring that of Hall of Famer legend Wilt Chamberlain. He drops a 40-point that triple-double on Sunday, and then comes back in his next game and drops even rarer, smaller but rarer, 13, 13, and 13 triple-double, done by only two other players that happen to happen in the same game, in which Magic Johnson and Larry Bird both had a 13, 13, 13 triple-double in the 83 Game 6 of the NBA Championships in 1983. The Nuggets also had 13 points from Christian Bond, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists from Bruce Brown Jr., 12 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist from Bones Highland, KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. Aaron Gordon, 24 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Jeff Green, 9 points, 2 rounds, 1 assist. So a lot of contributions going on, right? And able to help to get this win. The Memphis Grizzlies, John Morant, 35 points, 1 rebound, 10 assists. 11.7 rebounds, 1 assist from Dylan Brooks. Jarrett Jackson Jr., 8 points, 2 rounds, 1 assist as he continues to make his comeback. 4 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists from Steven Adams. Brandon Clark, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Aldama, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. So when you look at the stat line, right? I'm taking a look at the stat line, looking up and down the stat line. Of course, Ja Morant, 35 points. How do you start to feel as a player when you look at the fact of, yo, I've been doing this? Like, we're trying to get something done here. Where is my help? How is it everybody else is on lock? Is that what it is? Is everybody else on lock and no one else? Because when you look at it, Steven Adams, 30 points. But, I mean, I don't expect Steven Adams to be really blowing it up like that. But Ja Morant, 38 minutes. Tyus Jones, 30 minutes. Steven Adams, 30 minutes. Dylan Brooks, 29 minutes. David Ruddy, 23 minutes. Like, these players play a good amount of minutes. Even though, I mean, we don't know when these minutes are played. We just see this is obvious that Ja is playing consistently, continuously. But when you look at all these other points in minutes, you wonder, like, where is the output at? Like, who is helping out? What is there anything? Where do you get help at? Hold on 1 second. My fault, my fault. I had to run outside real quick. But yeah, so I mean, where do you get the output from? And I know I'm very sure that starts to weigh in on the players in general. But we remains to be seen. We already know Bane is currently out in Memphis, so that's an issue as well. So someone that probably can pick up that scoring load and maybe assist in that fact isn't there, and it just puts uh, maybe an undue stress on it. But it remains to be seen. 19-11 isn't bad in the West, in which currently even at 19-11 puts the Grizzlies actually that puts it to where they're the top two teams in the league. The Nuggets now currently lead the West, not the league, I'm sorry, in the West. The Nuggets currently lead the West at 19-11. The Grizzlies are 19-11 as well, which they were the top leading team. Now they're 19-11. The Pelicans come in at number 3, 18-12. The Suns 19-13 at number 4 at 5. The Clippers at 18-4, 6. The Kings are number 6. So those will be your top 6 in the West if the playoffs was to start right now. Right now, the play-in would consist of the 7th seeded Portland Trailblazers at 17-14, the 8th seeded Utah Jazz at 18-16, the Timberwolves at 16-15 would be the 9th seed, and the 10th seed would be the Mavericks at 15-16. Of course, the Lakers and the Warriors would be on the outside looking in. Lakers currently just a game and a half out. Correction. Lakers are currently Lakers are currently a game and a half out of the 10th spot. The Warriors are half a game out of the 10th spot. Additionally, the Lakers are 6-5. So Lakers are 2 games out of the, for correction, 3.5 games out of the sixth spot, and 6 games out of the first spot. So they're not too far off yet. It's still some work to be done, but they can potentially get back in there. In the East, the Celtics have lost their stranglehold, I guess you could say, so to speak, on the East as the Milwaukee Bucks take over half a game ahead of the Celtics. The Bucks 22-8 on the season. The Boston Celtics 22-9. The Cleveland Cavaliers are the third currently on the West with 21-11. The Brooklyn Nets 19-12 for fourth seed. Who else? The 76ers 17-12 as a fifth seed. The Knicks are 18-3 as the sixth seed. The seventh seed 16-15 for the Hawks. The Heat 16-16 are the eighth seed. Ninth seed the Pacers. The 10th seed the Raptors, of course, and then the Bulls and the Wizards are on the outside looking in. Looky here. Look at this. Would you look at this? Bishop, can you hear me?
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello,
Can you hear me?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you.
All right, what's up?
What's good, bro? What's going on? This dude drops himself off. Let's see if he comes back on. If he gets back on. You got money to blow. Did I leave something? Let me see. Need to pull up something. I feel like I'm not prepared today. One more second. Hold on.
Can you
Hello?
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Are you able to hear me?
Okay. What's good, Trey? As you can see, I'm on. What's going on, WGO? What's good? What's good? I'm on this Disney cruise. I've been trying to get in for a minute. We out here in Cozumel. We just hit Cozumel today, about maybe 2 hours ago.
Uh-huh.
Cozumel, Mexico. Um, yeah. See if I'll show y'all like this.
Okay, out on the
You can see
ocean.
the Mexican flag over there. Hopefully y'all can see it. As you can see, we are definitely on this water. How you been, Trey? What's good?
Not much, man. Same old. Sit up and work and enjoying the life here. I guess you could say. I mean, it's not. I'm not on a.
I can't hear you. Hold on. I can't hear you, Trey. Oh, Trey.
Can you
I
hear me
don't know
now?
what's going on. I can't. Hold on. Let me check my settings. Audio. Hello, Trey.
Can you hear me?
All right, let me do it again. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah,
Hello?
now I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
What's been good?
Same old, man. I see you living it up on the French Riviera. Oh wait, maybe
Yeah,
not the
hey,
French
I wish it
Riviera,
was
but
the French Riviera. I
maybe
wish
not
it
the
was
French
the French
Riviera, but
Riviera. It ain't. Yeah. But I'm living it up. I ain't gonna front on. I'm out here living it up. We about to here in a minute. We about to get off this boat and go into Cozumel itself. We still on the boat. The wife and kid is still asleep. So they about to, we ate breakfast and then we went back to bed and I couldn't go to sleep. So that's why I had told you earlier to send me
send the link.
the link. Yeah.
So when you look at it, being on both cruises, right? Let me go into my travel mode. Who are you feeling more, Disney travels or Carnival?
So I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm glad you asked that, right? Because this is my first Disney cruise. I've been on 3 Carnival cruises before. I will say, from what I've been told, this is a more smaller boat for Disney. From what I've been told, this is definitely a smaller boat compared to others, but it ain't that much smaller. Maybe from what we've seen, I think the other boat. This is the Magic. We're on the Magic right now, but they have a couple of other ones. I think it's like 100 feet longer, 100 to 200 feet longer, on another boat. But I will say this, right? Out of all this, like I said, this is my 4th cruise. It's my 4th cruise, first Disney. Out of all 4, and I don't know, this could be because of the weather. Excuse me, I don't know if it's because of the weather, but this is the most that I've ever felt the boat move while we were sailing. Like when I say close to motion sickness, yeah, it came real close to that this time compared to any other boat I've ever been on. And we've been on some small ones before, don't get me wrong. There go to everybody that's gotten off the boat and headed over to Cozumel. You can see them walking the little pier or whatever, headed off. This one was the most shakiest and that I felt out of all 4 that I've actually traveled on. I will say that. But in regards to entertainment, that one's a good one. That's a close one. In regards to entertainment here really? On the boat has been outstanding. We've had a magician who was a magician slash comedian, which was very good. He did magic for the kids. He did magic for the adults yesterday. So that was hot. We watched. We was able to check this out. We was able to check out Wakanda Forever. They played Wakanda Forever on the boat. Yes, I checked it out again. Oh, look at these people out here on the speedboat. Headed out on the speedboat. We checked out Wakanda Forever. I believe tonight they're playing Avatar. The new Avatar movie.
Oh, you see that already, right?
Right. I saw it the day before we left because we left out of Galveston. So yeah, we went and watched Avatar that Saturday night. Saturday night when we left to go to Galveston, we watched Avatar that Saturday night in Galveston. So yeah. And so they are showing that tonight. But yeah, man, it's been a blast, man. So far, we're here in Cozumel until 5:00 this evening or whatever, and then from there we're going to. Then after that, we set sail back to Galveston. Tomorrow's a full cruise day. Tomorrow's a full cruise day, and then we dock at Galveston on Friday morning. Headed back. Let me get away from that sound. That was the theater. That's the movie that you're able to see on the boat. So let me get away from the movie area. Oh, wow, this is the grown up area. Quiet Cove. As you can see, there's grown ups out here. They do have. So for those people that don't know, they do have adult type activities and things available. Even if you bring your kids on the Disney cruise, for those that never did Disney before, they do have adult type. There's a bar over there, as you can see. There is a bar. There's a pool that you can get in. It's only got to be 18 or over to get in that pool, and that's from 7 in the morning until 11 p.m. at night. So yeah, man, it's pretty straight, man. It's pretty straight. I'm gonna go over here to this bar and see if I can, get it in over here real quick.
Before you get off the boat.
How we living. Oh, also, Trey, let me tell you this, man. Appreciate that. I did get it. So appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure I let you know I did get that. What's good?
I see you got something on your chest.
Of course, I'm always gonna rep, baby. I'm always gonna rep. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you? Can I? Do y'all have like a menu? You see right here? Yeah. I had one yesterday that was called. What is it? That's on the little tray. It's on the little tray. Um, the tray that y'all carry, the little tray. Yes, on the little.
Bloody Mary?
Huh?
Bloody Mary?
No, no, no.
Here we having only the Bloody.
Okay, maybe that wasn't on here. Okay, all right. Ciroc colada. Hmm. So maybe this ain't the spot I was trying to go to. I'm gonna have to check it out because this ain't the spot. I went to a spot yesterday. It had an amazing. Oh, let me go up to this upper deck.
Uh-huh.
So Trey, I know you saw that. I know you saw that. It's not looking. I won't say that because I don't want to jinx us. But you do know
It's
that.
that. Yeah,
I know
yeah.
the talk about Jalen Hurts
Mm-hmm. He's
not
out.
being able to, not being and did not just talk about that the other day about somebody getting hurt and
Yes.
don't play and not playing him. I think somebody said, "Oh no, y'all should." But I tried. That's why I just said that. Right before I left to go on this cruise, I said we should not be playing Jalen Hurts because the worst thing could happen is for him to get hurt and we not have him for the playoffs. And sure as doo-doo stinks, he goes and sprains his shoulder. I had just said that. Just said that. And he goes and
So,
sprains his shoulder. Now, fortunately enough, they said it's okay. It's just a sprain. He should still be able to play.
should he
However,
play? Should he
I
play?
just said that.
Should he play? Do you think they should continue to let him play, or should they go
No,
ahead and pound him
no,
down?
no. No, so I get it. Everybody's talking about, well, we need one more game to secure home field
Correct.
advantage. I got that.
Yes.
But we only need to win one more game, and we got 3 left. We got the Cowboys, we got the Giants, and we got who's the Cowboys, Giants, and one other team.
Is it the
We
Jets
got
who
3 games left. I forget who the third game is, but I know we got the Cowboys, the Giants. I know we got Cowboys this weekend. Then I think the Giants is our last game. But this is my
Yes.
thing. This is my thing, right? We don't need him for this Cowboys game. We don't need him. We don't. We don't need him. If we lose, we lose. It is what it is. All we got to win is one more game. It's not like somebody one of the analysts said yesterday. It's not like it's not like us beating the Cowboys or us needing to beat the Cowboys is going to stop them from making a playoff. It's not. It's not going to stop us from stop them from making or stop us from making the playoffs, of course. And definitely it's not going to stop them either. We just need to
However,
get this win. I mean, we just need
it could
to
be
rest him.
y'all might not get the win, but y'all can if y'all lose the next 3 games, depending on what Minnesota and San Francisco do, y'all can lose y'all number 1 seed.
That I get that, but I'm just talking right now. I'm just talking about the current game that's about to take place on this Saturday. Saturday, yeah, we play on Saturday, I think.
Do you think y'all can beat the Cowboys without Jalen Hurts?
I do. I have a great deal of faith in Garner Minshew to be able to do what we need to do and go in and still steal a win in Dallas with Garner Minshew. I do. I honestly feel that way. I'm not. That's not even a joke. I do feel like we can win with the Garner Minshew
But
in Dallas.
I'll give you that. I think Gardner Minshew is not a bad backup, but
Right.
Jalen Hurts does it in 2 ways: on the ground and through the air.
And in the air. Got you. I got you. So I totally understand what you're saying in that aspect because he's definitely key when it comes to being a dual threat quarterback, which Garner Minshew does not bring to the table at all. So I totally understand what you're saying about that. Let y'all see that view out there, baby. Let y'all see that view out there, baby. Yeah. But I definitely understand what you're saying about that. Man, that's crazy how that water is like aqua blue right there in one area. Nah, that's real crazy. But anyway, Yeah, I definitely feel like I totally understand what you're saying, and that's what a lot of people say. Gardner Minshew doesn't have that dual threat capability like Jalen Hurts. However, we don't necessarily need a dual threat. When we won our Super Bowl, we didn't have a dual threat quarterback. We had Nick Foles, who wasn't a dual threat.
I
He
get
was
that.
a passing pocket quarterback. Go ahead.
I completely get that, but now in the position that y'all in, like it's almost like it's almost like the same thing. Could you have a situation to where uh Jalen Hurts got y'all to the promise, but we're looking at like Jalen Hurts isn't injured to where he's out. He's just injured to where
Yeah,
should you
he's
leave
just
him
he
out?
can miss the game.
Yeah, you
Right.
should be able to leave him out where he could continue on. So it's one of those situations to where I don't know. I think it came up at a bad time, but at the same time,
It did.
do you want to sit up and have him in a game against Van Der Esch, Parsons, and all of them, or do you want him to sit out and take it? Because your next game after that is New Orleans. So y'all got
New Orleans.
Dallas,
That's who it is. New Orleans.
New
That's the third game.
Orleans,
Yeah.
and the New York Giants.
See, so if it was me, if I'm Nick Sirianni, which he's definitely not me, but if I was Nick Sirianni, and I'm definitely not him, if I was Nick Sirianni, I would sit him against Dallas. That would give him a whole nother week to rest up that shoulder, and then I would go and bring him back for then I would bring him back for New Orleans. I will bring him back New Orleans. Now, I have to mind you now, this is the thing. This is why people are such a fuss and uproar about it, right? Because after Jalen Hurts hurt his shoulder in that game, he came back and threw a touchdown to, or not almost threw a touchdown to AJ Brown, and then he threw a nice pass to Devontae Smith. Right after, like they didn't even bring him out. He did that right after. They didn't even bring him out the game, and he did that. So with that being said, it's like he's still obviously capable of making plays with a busted up shoulder. So I still feel like he's able to still make some things happen. I just prefer, if it was me, I prefer for him to have a whole week off. He had this whole week off. I say a whole nother week, or 2 weeks, should I say, whole 2 weeks off. That gives it, because from what they're saying, the shoulder is, being that it's bruised, it's not bad. They say it's a heal fast type injury. So my personal opinion, I feel like he's definitely able to make it happen. If they allow him to get the rest that he needs for the next couple of weeks. That's my personal opinion. I just totally agree. I just totally feel that way.
So real quick, I forgot to get into this right quick. Of course, condolences and everything goes out to Franco Harris and his family as he passes away at the age of 72. Was reported, of course, this morning.
I saw that, man. Golly, I saw that.
The Immaculate Reception.
Was he sick? Was he sick, Trey?
Well, yes and no, I guess, saying, so to speak. So it's one of those things like he was his will with it. They haven't came out and said what the cause was yet, but I think he was he did have some ailments, of course. 72 years old. So it's more to be.
I saw that, man. I saw that this morning. I was like, and I could have swore, didn't they just what's the word I'm looking for? Didn't they just do something about Franco Harris not too long ago, about a week or two ago?
There are a couple. This was the week. Would have been the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception.
Okay. I knew it was something they was talking about in regards to Franco Harris not too long ago.
Yeah. And it continues to go down.
Wow.
I ask you this question, Bishop, and anyone that's out there: was it or was it not a completed pass?
Yes, it was a completion, without question.
So you say it was a completed pass? I beg to
differ. It was definitely a completion. Of course you do. Of course you do.
I think
most people do who don't believe in the Immaculate Reception. But he Yeah. I definitely feel like
completed
it was
pass.
an reception. Yeah, without question.
So I mean, so of course, like I said, shouts, of course, condolences to his family. In the case, it might have been I mean, in any case, it goes down in the history of the NFL. Just one of those things. Franco Harris dead at the age of 72. Of course, we Hall of Famer. Let's not miss Hall of Fame running back Franco Harris, a Pittsburgh Steelers all time great. Um, so going back, additionally
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
going back to what you was just saying, Bishop. It seems like Serrani and the Eagles are going to go ahead and start Jalen Hurts. I think it's just to
They said
get
they
the security.
he said that they're gonna start him because I could have swore I
It's,
just saw
it
earlier
says
that right
they're
now
not.
they're talking
I'm sorry,
about.
they're not. Yeah, they're not ruling it out. I'm sorry, they're not ruling it out.
Oh, okay. Because I think I
I
want to
think
say
it's
I saw this morning that Garner Minshew is actually
taking the
who's
reps.
favorite to start. Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
favorite to start right now. Right now, from what I saw this morning, it looks as though Nick Sirianni said Garner Minshew is favorite to start on Saturday.
So
Favorite right now. But he did say it could change.
I
He
can
said it could
see,
change.
I can see starting Hurts to secure the division, and then letting Minshew pick up the
Well, we already secured the division. I think we've
no
secured the division. All we trying to work is. I thought
Chicago.
we
I
all
mean,
we was trying to get was.
what's called?
I
I
thought
think
we was
they
just trying to
did.
get.
I don't think they secured the division. I
Go ahead.
think they could still lose the division. They need one win to secure the division. So they secure the division. They secure the they secure a playoff spot, but they need one win to secure the division.
Okay. Okay. I thought we had secured the division. I thought we was just
Because
using it to get the.
y'all are 3-1 in the division with 2 games left.
I thought we was just trying to get home field advantage.
Nah, I think. Let me confirm to make sure. I think it's only y'all only secured the playoff berth. Y'all still y'all need one game to secure y'all need one game to secure the division. Y'all need this game to secure y'all division, or the New York game, depending on what happens this game, and then y'all need an additional game or a loss by the y'all need a win and a loss by the Vikings to secure the #1 seed,
Oh, okay.
because the Vikings
Okay.
are still on y'all heels. And y'all would need
Right.
and potentially ask. Well, no, I think y'all still good. I think it's San Francisco that's on y'all heels. What's going on,
Oh, okay.
Sid? San Francisco still on y'all heels. Even though y'all, if y'all was to lose out and
Okay.
San
Go
Francisco
to the
was to
beach.
win, y'all would still win. Y'all can
Just,
still drop. They
we're
can
trying to
drop
go
you.
to the beach right now.
I'm holding. We holding you up. Are we holding you up?
Yeah.
We're so
This is what I
sorry.
gotta deal with. This is what I gotta deal with on the regular, dog. This thing here. We try to go to the beach. We try to go to the beach. So I got to take little mama to the beach for the last day of our cruising here on the water. So I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Definitely holler back. I definitely try to get on tomorrow again.
Yes, sir.
Trey, send me the link again and see if I can jump on again. It may take a minute, but hey, it is what it is. Y'all enjoy. Thank y'all for tuning in. The first formation. This your boy Sean, aka Bishop the Goat. I'll holler back at you. Sorrow 5 Military Fraternity Incorporated. We out this piece. Peace. All right, Trey.
All right, bro. Take care. So, of course, like you said,
Yep.
continue on with that conversation, right? Like we were saying, is it in their best interest to she said what she said, hey, right? See someone else. So, of course, like we were saying, right? Is it in the best interest for them to start them? They can potentially lose out. I mean, when I look at it again, looking at like we was talking about in the NBA, like do you start? I mean, do you trade this top player to bring back better, or do you trade to have better at this particular time to build that? Which one is it? At this particular instance, we're looking at for Philadelphia. Best record overall, 13-1. Is it 13-1? Whatever they are, 12, 13-1. 13-1. But the reason they're 13-1 for the most part, or a huge part of the success of being 13-1 now is in danger because, of course, Jalen Hurts has a bit of an injury. He can potentially be hurt a bit more, or so do you rest him or give him some time in between, let the shoulder rest up? But at this particular time, they're playing against a rival that is chasing them, nipping at their heels. So do they take a chance by becoming the do they take a chance by becoming uh, losing to the Dallas Cowboys if Jalen Hurts doesn't play, to where now that puts them in position to where all the thing the Cowboys have to do is win another game, and then potentially the Giants come back and defeat them, to where now they went from securing the division championship to losing the division championship and possibly even losing the number one overall seed, possibly. Like, what does a team do? What is the ideal of where we're looking at? Do you sit Jalen Hurts or do you start Jalen Hurts and risk the chance of um, him taking the injury? So it's just interesting, but that's what the coaches get paid for. That's why they're paid. And in state is, you never know what could happen. So of course, like you said, they have an opportunity to clinch their division, as well as I think the number one seed, pending what Minnesota and San Francisco does this week. It's coming close to the end. 3 games in this season. So after you're sitting him based off the fact that he's a dual threat quarterback, and I can understand that. Like, he gets 60 to 70 yards a pop. I mean, a game. So that means he's toting the ball down the field a lot. He ain't just throwing it. He's also carrying it. So you have that. It remains to be seen. But let me run through this right quick. Now take a look at that. So of course, like we were saying, Eric, you said you're sitting them too. So are you sitting them just for this game, or are you sitting the rest of the regular season, the last 3 games? Is getting into the playoffs enough, or do you need that first seed? Or get as many buys as you can? Let me see. Clinch the division. So when you look at it, right, the division, of course, the Buffalo Bills have clinched their division, in which, of course, if they clinch the division, they clinch their correction. Yeah, they've clinched the division, as well as clinched the no, the Bills haven't clinched the division. They still can possibly lose. The Chiefs have clinched their division, which means they have a playoff position clinched. The Bills have clinched their position. They currently have of course, they haven't clinched their division. They clinched a playoff spot. So currently in the East, the Bills and the Chiefs are in. The Titans lead their division, but can potentially drop that. They're only half a game. They're only a game ahead. They're a game ahead of the Jaguars. The Bengals are a game ahead of the Ravens. So still 5 playoff positions up in the East. In the AFC, in the NFC, the Cowboys and the Eagles both have clinched a berth in the playoffs. The Vikings have clinched their division. The 49ers have clinched their division. So currently, only three slots remain in the NFC. Okay, you saying this game? If we steal this game, I'll let it play for the quarter to next. Okay, just momentum. I get you. I feel what you're saying. If you win the game, all right. I see what you're saying. At some point, you're looking. Honestly, basically, what you're saying is you're looking to take him out the game or get him on the sidelines as soon as possible before he incurs any more potential injuries. I feel you. I understand that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers still haven't clinched a berth yet. They're leading the NFC South currently, but they are being chased. Honestly, everyone's in play in the NFC South for the most part, in which this week should start to separate some of the players. The Buccaneers currently lead their division at 6-8, but with all three teams, the Panthers, the Saints, and the Falcons being 5-9, they are all still within striking distance to secure the division, to where actually that's their only play. They have to win the division in order to get into the to anywhere from the South. So all the players in the South have to win the division in order to get in. Unless there's just a complete debacle across the board in the other teams that's still out there, i.e. the Lions, who could potentially get in, the Packers could still get in, as well as the Seahawks. Everyone else is not necessarily eliminated yet. The Bears are eliminated. The Rams are eliminated, and the Cardinals are eliminated. But other teams still have a play. So a lot going on when you look at it. I truly hate the losing team gets home advantage of the playoffs. Only, I mean, I get what you're saying, Eric, but that's only if it's a division champion. That's it. You have to be a division champion. So the Buccaneers, the Panthers, Saints, or Falcons potentially could have home field advantage depending on how the next 3 games end up over the course of this week. The Vikings running away with it. They still can catch. The Vikings can catch the Eagles only if the Eagles were to fall off and the Vikings were to fall off. So as long as the Vikings keep winning and the Eagles continue to lose, the Vikings have a chance. Same with San Francisco. As long as they're winning and the Eagles are losing, they have a chance. Cowboys, same thing. So it's really a 4-headed monster. It's going to get interesting week by week. The Vikings, the 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Eagles all have a chance at that number 1 slot. But it's all predicated upon the Eagles losing. And it starts this week, potentially with Jalen Hurts starting and the Cowboys having to win. If the Cowboys can win, they help out all the teams. And then the only thing that has to happen is Vikings have to win, San Francisco has to win, and then we go on to the next week with the same conversation. So it's getting a little exciting. The NFC is providing some good stuff for us coming down the stretch. Like I said, the Eagles and the Cowboys play this week. Of course, tomorrow, not tomorrow. I still have 2 days before I give what my picks are. However, we will be able to pick for tomorrow's game, as tomorrow I pick tomorrow's game as the Jaguars and the Jets. The easiest schedule out the 4. Let me pull that up, Eric, right quick. So what we have is, I'll give it, and we can make a decision right, and we can sit up and talk about it right now. So the Eagles we already heard, we was just talking about, the Eagles have Dallas, New Orleans, and the Giants. That's their schedule. The Cowboys have the Eagles, the Titans, and the Commanders left. That's not an easy schedule, in my opinion. The Vikings have the Giants. That's an easy one. The Vikings have the Giants, the Bears, and the Packers. I think the Vikings have the easiest schedule. Although those are rivalries, and that's a different thing. They're rivalries. The 2 of the 4 is rivalries, and we've seen what the Bears did. The Bears are getting back their 2-headed monster with Herbert coming back off his injury. And then the 49ers have the Commanders, the Raiders, and the Cardinals. So I think the easiest schedule belongs to the 49ers and the Raiders. I mean, the 49ers and the Vikings. When you look at the Vikings, you would think would be easier, but due to those division rivalries, I think those are where there could be issues. San Francisco has 2 games at home. They have the Commanders at home to this week, and then they have the Cardinals at home at the end of the season. So they can potentially depend on. But, I mean, again, we say the 49ers have the easiest schedule. I understand Brock Purdy is doing his thing, but in-state Brock Purdy is the third string quarterback at this point, and he's playing even against starters or second string quarterbacks. Of course, against the Cardinals, he'll be playing against Colt McCoy. Against the Commanders, he'll begin playing against Taylor Heineke, who isn't bad. Colt isn't bad, but I think San Francisco can get that win as long as we have all our play people. And then the Raiders, of course, they're playing against the defense is what's doing it for San Francisco. Vikings have 2 away games, in which I think both y'all were games the coldest 2 places in the league to play at. Let me see. The Vikings play in 2 away games. The last 2, you go from the pack from Green Bay, then go to Chicago, from the Tundra to the Soldier Field. That's a hard swallow, bro. I don't know if I would be in that position. That's crazy. But San Francisco might. I might agree with you, Eric. San Francisco might have the easiest schedule. It's just a little minuscule due to the fact of Brock Purdy, and every week we're wondering who we're getting in that fact. But definitely, I think the hardest would be. I think the hardest might be the Eagles. I think the Eagles has the hardest schedule in the last 3 out of the 4 of them. I think they might be facing the biggest potential deficit in it. Well, no, the Cowboys. Cowboys got the Eagles, the Titans, and the Commanders. Yeah, it's the Cowboys. The Cowboys have the hardest. San Francisco might have the easiest. I think the Cowboys have the hardest. So, of course, if any of that goes down, it's going to be, if any of it happens, if anything was to happen, it would be the hardest. I think the Cowboys have the hardest slate going forth. But we shall see. Of course, we shall see. Of course, other teams that have it pretty hard, with Baltimore chasing their division leader in Cincinnati. Basically, they had to claim Sammy Watkins, who they had drafted. They had to claim him back off waivers. As Devin Duvernay is down, they're down a receiver, so they're continuing to try to build their core. I hope they do that through the draft this year or free agency. They're able to get some serviceable wide receivers to help out, to do a favor and help out Lamar Jackson. Being if that Lamar Jackson's going to even be there next year, you would think that he is. He may not, even though we've made the conversation to talk over how he hasn't lived up to the money that he was asking for. In-state he is their franchise quarterback. He may not be working it like right now, but he is their franchise quarterback. He's going to get paid, and he's going to make a difference. What Anthony said, Washington not staying in the playoffs. He was cheated out. So I will agree with you, Anthony. I'm not saying that they're going to be they was not going to get in the playoffs. I will say that a missed call did affect y'all, that missed call. But I think y'all still got a chance. I think at this point, in my opinion, the only one that's really causing the issue or problem is for y'all is the Giants and the Seahawks. Now, y'all may have a little problem from whoever currently is maybe the second team or the second best team in the NFC South. Y'all may have a little issue with that, depending on how that goes. But right now, I think y'all good. Currently, y'all the 7th seed. Y'all, the whole division is in the playoffs right now. So you might be good. I think it's just a matter of the Lions is y'all problem is a problem for y'all right now too. Those ties, man, those ties hurt you. That could have even been a win for y'all or a loss for y'all, where it would be definitive. But the tie can make you or break you. Right now, the tie is saving you. It's saving y'all for real. Unless y'all would have had unless y'all had won that game, in which then it would have been y'all would still be 8-6 apiece. It would just depend upon y'all the rest of the division, which y'all did or y'all like competitors. So it's different. It's different from y'all, but I think y'all got an opportunity. I honestly think is a possibility. Detroit is coming on hard, so maybe when y'all are going to face, and y'all got y'all don't have the easiest road down the line. So who's Washington have left? I mean, let me see who the Commanders have left. Y'all have the 49ers, the Browns, and the Cowboys. Woo! Y'all might not get in, bro. Yeah, y'all might not get in. It's depending upon what the other ones did because y'all got a hard slate ahead. Yeah, y'all got San Francisco, Cleveland, and Dallas. Y'all could potentially lose all three of those games. I was fooling for y'all too. Yeah, y'all could potentially lose all three of those games and finish 7-9 and 1. Why someone like, but then Detroit gets in, and I think Detroit's going to make some noise. Interesting. But yeah, so going back to Devin Duvernay, but currently put on IR after his injury. Sammy Watkins claimed, but I really hope that Baltimore does its best uh, to get some help for Lamar, or saying to make a better situation, get him some receivers, whether it be through the draft or be through and it not even top. Like it's somebody out there. Got to be somebody out there. That would be my thing as a GM. I would be looking to get Lamar some help. They have a all right running back room for the most part, but I would be looking to get them some help, some linemen, some and some receivers, uh, to fill out that roster and just go from there. Linemen and receivers would be my main focus if I was a GM for the Baltimore Ravens. Uh, that'd be my main focus. What else we have? Of course, Matthew Stafford is powered down for the season as he has a spinal contusion. It was asked the question if Matthew Stafford, the quarterback for the franchise quarterback currently for the Los Angeles Rams, if he planned to retire this season due to the injury. You got to think it's an injury somewhat rivaling that of what players, not injury rivaling, but when you put in the position, you have players like Alex Smith, Andrew Luck that have retired early in the season at some point, and because they just injuries. Stafford at this point stating that that's not him. He's not going to do that. He expects to play next season, so he'll be around off season. But of course, things can change. It's just that's the case right now at this particular time. We discussed earlier the Cowboys. I mean the Eagles are not ruling out playing Jalen Hurts, but right now Gardner Minshew is going hard in the paint, I guess you could say, in practice, in which he's going to looking to be the starter. We've had plenty of times this season to where those unlikely sorts came in and did damage and made a huge impact. That being the rush at the beginning of the season for Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco currently with Brock Purdy, uh, Taylor Heineke currently for the Washington Commanders. So players are taking advantage of situations if given to them, and so we remains to be seen what is going to happen. So we can't count out Philadelphia yet. Don't count out Gardner Minshew yet. He had he had a pretty good showing when he was in Jacksonville. Almost took his team to the Super Bowl. Maybe he can enact that. It remains to be seen. Um, Of course, we talked about earlier, Zach Wilson will be starting tomorrow versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. As we know, the Jets take on the Jacksonville Jaguars on Thursday Night Football, the last Thursday night game, I think it is, of the year, because they haven't cleared Mike White yet. Maybe unfortunate in sorts, depends. We see, uh, as we know, So this is why I say, Anthony. Currently, I don't see a battle. Honestly, I don't. I don't even see a battle right now. Brock Purdy is doing what he has to do. He went from a third string quarterback to right now holding up a franchise's playoff hopes, um, in which he's the man. Like there's no help coming through that door. He's not going. He doesn't have to currently look over his shoulder. Trey Lance is done for the year. Jimmy Garoppolo done for the year. Uh, so there's no one coming through the door, so he doesn't have a problem. However, I don't know if it's going to be. I think what he's doing is getting an audition for what he could be. The expectation is that Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be a 49er next year. That they're that they're not going to re-sign him. This is his final year. He's going to be afforded the opportunity to become a free agent next year. What is interesting though is that Jimmy Garoppolo, per the contract he signed, he hasn't played in the last 3 games. So he may not hit all the bonuses he was looking at potentially that he was getting is going to stop because he's not going to finish out the season with those to hit those benchmarks. So that's an interesting turn of events. But I honestly believe Jimmy is not going to be there next year. I think he's going to potentially be in another new uniform next year, which allows for. And then honestly, I don't foresee a situation where the 49ers shelve Trey Lance, their number 3 overall draft pick, for Brock Purdy, unless Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl. Now we have a different turn of events. If Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl, then I think it's his starting job to lose coming up the next year. But no different is I think it's the same thing even if he doesn't win the Super Bowl. But there's a hard look taking when you take a conference when you look at the fact of Brock Purdy has been serviceable, very serviceable at this point, and Trey Lance comes back, and if he's not doing or looking, if you start looking at like we know what Brock brought up, we know what Trey brought us last year, where they're at this point in the season next year is going to determine truly who is going to be that person going forth. I think it's Trey Lance's job to lose in state, one way or another. And I don't think it's hard. It won't be hard for him to lose, especially if Brock Purdy continues to play the way he is. Whether we get a Super Bowl out of it or not, I think it's going to raise some eyebrows. And where you're going to have a situation that's like, well, we can or can't do this. Or he can or can't. He is or isn't going to continue to be the starter. So, yes, basically that's where we're at with that. So I don't think it's going to be that much of a battle. The only way it becomes a battle is depending on what Brock Purdy does the rest of the season, which he would have to win 7 more games. Yes, 7 more games. He have to win 7 more games. I would like to see him win 7 straight, or at least to win the last 4. His last 4, if they get into the playoffs, him win those 4 games. But I'm here for it, of course. I'm always here for it. Of course, what are you looking at? Of course, I know Bishop isn't on. Of course, you have myself and Ron, as y'all know, if y'all haven't tuned to it, we've been looking at and seeing who could be get the most picks for the year. Of course, right now, it's fairly close, I think. Wait, let me go back and do some searching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that's legit. That's legit. Okay, that's legit. So, in any case, like I said, me, Ron, Bishop have been going at it all season long, and when it comes to these picks, uh, so for this past week, week 15, um, I had a 14-2 season, 14-2 week. Shout out to Trey, 14-2 on the season. Um, Ron had 10-5, and Bishop a 13-3. Now, for a second, Bishop had me scared because he was like running. He was up like 10. He was 10-0 at one point. Of course, the Arizona pick caused his demise. Wait, hold up. Corrections. I stand corrected. $12-4. He had 12-4. He had 12-4. Puts him at that. It puts me briefly ahead of him for the overall, as I am a half game ahead of Bishop, as where our standings are currently. Ron leads the pack at 132-71. I am in second at 125-79, and Bishop is in third or last in this case with 124-78. Actually, we're tied. Well, 124-79. So that is good to me. Like I said, all you gotta do is catch the slowest man. So now I can set my sights on Ron for this coming week, in which, of course, tomorrow starts that off. We're getting our picks here and there to see where we're going to go from there. Ron is 7 games. 7 games. I need Ron to pick slowly but surely. I might have to pick against Ron the whole rest of the season, just to simply make up the difference. But in case we're enthralled in that, I think we called it a show for today. Of course, I got to get up and get out there and get something. I'm not able to be like my counterparts that's able to be up and out and doing things. I have to get in and do a little work for this fair day. Of course, tomorrow, Thursday, it'll be a shortened day. I have another appointment. I have to get some stuff taken care of, but I will be on at least an hour. We'll call it Power Hour. I'll figure out what we're going to do for that, depending on what comes on this week. For tomorrow, and then Thursday, Friday should have back to a full show as we talk about the upcoming weekend. Then, of course, then we have our let me see what is going on. Let me see. So of course we have Thursday. We'll be on short tomorrow. An hour, probably about an hour tomorrow, or maybe something like that. 45 minutes, something like that. A short show. It's definitely gonna be a short show tomorrow. Thursday. Friday, be back to a full show. Saturday, of course, we have Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday we'll be back after the Christmas holiday to chop it up about what went over the weekend. So yeah, we're here. We'll be here in any case. But I appreciate y'all rocking with us, checking out this morning. Always a pleasure for the most part as we continue to bring y'all sports and conversation and rhetoric, everything like that. Bishop was able to give a little tour of Disney. So, of course, that we had going on, like that. Y'all be safe out there. But of course, you can hear this again on Friday, and I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow for our quick show. Go over some NFL, NBA, and all that type of stuff. I greatly appreciate y'all rocking with me this morning. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, and y'all enjoy y'all weekend. This is your boy Trey, and I'm out.